For some players, their seat on the plane to Russia has been confirmed pretty much since the end of the last one. For others, they can point to some good form in recent seasons as another reason to be on that plane. But for some, just a few years ago, the chance of playing at a World Cup seemed so unlikely, but now their dreams are becoming a reality. So what I've got here is a tactically sound, technically gifted 4-3-3 style formation of players who really didn't have a chance and now are actually going to the World Cup. The zeros to heroes. First off, we start with the goalkeeper who had an incredible 6 lower league loans between the years 2011 to 2015. Coming back to his parent club, he suffered a tumultuous season with Charlton as they were relegated from the Championship. However, Nick Pope did enough to draw the attention of Burnley manager Sean Dyche, who signed him up. His first season at Turf Moor saw no Premier League football being played in 2016-17 as Burnley stopper Tom Heaton filled that void. An injury to Heaton last September finally saw Pope get his Premier League debut, and just 9 months later, he's on the plane to Russia. At right back, we stick with the Three Lions and with someone who has played some of the biggest football matches of anybody's career. Not only did he help Liverpool in a fantastic season, he also has a Champions League final appearance under his belt. At the start of the qualifiers, you would have found a young Trent Alexander-Arnold yet to make his debut for the Liverpool first team. But 2 Young Player of the Season awards later, and the kind of form that's put Nathaniel Klein's return from injury on hold, he is well worth his place on the plane to Russia. In the centre-back position, and just across the English Channel, you might find the French squad warming up for this summer's tournament with a particularly new face in their squad, Benjamin Pavard. The 22-year-old started his career in Lille in France, and just as the qualifier started 2 years ago, was actually sold to Stuttgart in the 2nd division in Germany. But 15 months later, and with Stuttgart back in the Bundesliga, he was on the international scene for the very first time with France. Now, after a second brilliant season in Germany's top division, he's been linked with some big transfers to the likes of Arsenal for around £40 million, but not before he tests himself on the world stage against some of the best forwards in the world. Alongside Pavard at the back, we have, surprise surprise, another Englishman, although he is the last one in this list, I promise. Harry Maguire's inclusion in the squad is pretty much summed up by this tweet from his account back in 2016, which showed him at the Euros with his mates celebrating in the crowd. At the time, Harry Maguire had just finished playing in the Championship with Hull, although they did get promoted to the Premier League via the playoffs. So when the qualifiers started, technically he was a Premier League player, although a relegation candidate at that. And now 2 years later, with his international debut in October, he looks more than set for a starting place in Russia with the Three Lions this summer. Our last defender is the only Portuguese player on the list. That's right, it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo versus everyone. Back in 2016, Mario Rui had moved from Empoli to Roma on a loan deal with a view to a permanent signing the following summer. But unfortunately for him, he spent the first 6 months of that season injured, and with only a handful of appearances in the second half of the season, decided to move to stand any chance of making the Portuguese squad for the World Cup. After a splendid season at Napoli, including making his international debut in March, Mario Rui looks set to battle it out with Dortmund's Rafael Guerreiro for the starting left-back spot. Moving into the midfield, and we have the first of 2 South Americans on this list. Now this brings a bit of a change to our starting 11, as the South American qualifiers actually started in October of 2015, meaning that these 2 players were even further away from their current footballing status. Firstly, we have PSG's Giovanni Lo Celso, who when the qualifiers started was in his first professional season with hometown club Rosario Central in Argentina. After moving to PSG, he was loaned back to Rosario and didn't actually make his debut in France until April 2017. But last season is where he really proved his worth, where he played in the midfield or in the front 3 and managed 47 appearances in a PSG team that contains the likes of Neymar, Cavani, Angel Di Maria, Verratti and Adrien Rabiot. The fact that he plays so many games in such a talented team is really testament to his talent, and as such he's been rewarded with a place in the Argentinian squad this summer. That Argentina squad, alongside the likes of Messi, Higuain, Dybala and Aguero, also features another of our midfielders, Benfica's Eduardo Salvio. Unlike Lo Celso, who was just a youngster when the qualifiers started, Salvio's story is a little bit different. Back in 2009 at age 19, he actually made his debut for the Argentinian squad, but didn't really live up to the potential. When appearing against Chile in 2012, that was to be his last appearance in what stretched over a 5-year absence from the national team. This was partly due to his injuries and club form, but also to the abundance of talent that Argentina have in the squad. He was called back to the national setup last year, and now at age 27, he'll be hoping that following this summer's World Cup, he doesn't enter another 5-year absence from the national team. The last midfielder in this 4-3-3 formation is someone who's definitely playing at the lowest level in England's third tier. However, Sam Morsy was part of the Wigan side this season that won the title. Morsy qualifies to play for Egypt through his dad, and he'll now be going to the World Cup alongside the likes of Mo Salah. Back when the qualifiers started, Morsy was on loan at Championship side Barnsley before moving back to Wigan for the League One triumph. So with a turbulent few years for Morsy in the lower leagues of English football, it really is testament to his character that he'll now be going toe-to-toe with some of the world's greatest this summer. I know what you're thinking, Matt, this team doesn't really have any big names, big stars, but hold on to your horses because this front three has the potential to light up the footballing world for years to come. Firstly, we have another incredibly gifted, wonderfully talented player off the Ajax academy line. Back when the qualifiers started, Kasper Dahlberg was not in the squad as he'd only just made his debut with Ajax at the age of 17. But 2 seasons, loads of goals and a whole host of awards recognising his talent later, and with 4 Danish caps to his name, Dahlberg looks like a genuine starter for his side in Russia. A good showing this summer will surely pave the way for a big move to one of Europe's top clubs, such as Juventus or Spurs, who have been linked with the player. However, he may have to live up to the illustrious career of national compatriot Nicklas Bendtner in North London, which shouldn't actually be that hard to do. Over to Germany now, where a 22-year-old looks to lead the line for the reigning champions and for a big move afterwards. Just 2 years ago when qualifiers started, Timo Werner was part of the Stuttgart side that was relegated to the second division in Germany. He then moved to Leipzig, who, along with his club, saw a meteoric rise to the top of German football. After 21 Bundesliga goals in his first season with Leipzig, he won a few call-ups to the international squad for some friendlies before being given the starting striker role in the Confederations Cup victory for Germany last summer. 1 year on and he's definitely made that jersey his own and looks more than a certainty to start for the world champions this summer. Now I really have saved the best for last here, and not just because of his name now, but because of where he was 2 years ago. Now you'll know him as the French wonder kid, the next Thierry Henry, and the guy who's just about to complete a loan to a permanent transfer to PSG for £130 million. But before Kylian Mbappé stars for France this summer, he should probably take a look back to where he was when qualification started. He'd only just signed his first professional contract with Monaco. His first goal came later that year, and in his second season, he really shined in France with PSG. He became the second youngest player to appear for the French national team, and this summer, along the likes of Antoine Griezmann and Ousmane Dembélé, creates a frightening front three that looks set to take the World Cup by storm. So there you have my 0 to Hero 11. Let me know what you guys think and who you would have had in the squad. Until next time, I'll see you later.